I'm Kurt Shimmers. Every day, fortunes are gained and lost in the financial markets. News, trends, and even geopolitical events shape your financial landscape. Join me and my expert guests right now on Traders Nation. Welcome. You are tuned into Traders Nation. Thanks for making us a part of your day. Don and I have got a packed show for you today. Brad Williams is back with us once again. He's president of Brad Williams Financial Services. We're going to be talking about how workers see the biggest pay and benefit increase in the last 10 years. We're going to find out what ushered that prosperity in. Plus, our stocks are recovering after earnings reports really took some of these stocks to a beating in the market. We're going to find out which ones have found their base and which ones are making a reversal to the upside. So gas, stocks, and a whole lot more. Stay tuned right here to Traders Nation. We'll be right back.
Traders Nation. Get Pro Online DVD Trader today. Whether you're an experienced trader or just beginning, you'll improve your skills dramatically. Click on the Knowledge Center button to order your copy today. Traders Nation, delivering what you want when you want it. Traders Nation.
Hi, this is Willie Nelson. You're tuned in to Traders Nation.
Hey, Willie, thanks for stopping in and checking in with us here today. Dono, what's going on out there? Hey, listen, we got gaming. Yeah, gaming's on our list here today, Don. Payment processors on our list here today. All kinds of really good stuff, making some potential great moves here and some reversals. Finding some bases, Don. Finding some bases after these earnings reports. Good God. All right, earnings have been coming out. Some of these stocks that got whacked really good that have been on our list, but you know what? Some didn't. But certainly we got to follow both of them, right, Don?
Right.
You know, I got some great potentials here. Some of these stocks, the earnings came out, didn't fare so well. A lot of sell-off, you know, like you said, Don, in the last edition of Traders Nation, we talked about this. You know, these stocks did phenomenal. People are selling on this stuff, locking in their profits. Nothing wrong with that. That's the name of the game, Don. Your thoughts?
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, we have Wynn Resorts starting off. WYNN is the symbol on that. Stock's up here at around 155 and a half. And that stock, not so far long ago, was a $200 stock. Now we had the resignation of Steve Wynn. We've had a little litigation involved. Now Steve Wynn's ex-wife has settled up with the company. She still controls 9% of the company.
Yeah.
She's appointed. They've satisfied her by appointing 2 outside board members. They've got a new chairman. The Massachusetts property is on target to open, and so the stock is rallying a little bit.
Sure.
In here, at these prices, the stock should probably be bought.
Sure. This is what you have, folks. Here's the numbers on Wynn. WYNN. All right, bring it up. Bring your charts up on this, certainly. Street didn't like it. The earnings came out, bounced it down to 147. Okay, and like Don said, this is a 200-plus stock not that long ago. We followed it all the way up there. Everybody that was watching Traders Nation or listening to Traders Nation made bank on Wynn when it reached those levels, certainly. But the Street didn't like the earnings, down to 147, but it's since bounced off of that. And we're seeing a recovery on it if you bring your charts up on this. Currently at 155 and a half, like Don said. 1.1 million shares exchanging hands here today on Wynn, WYNN. Don?
Well, Wynn's one of the leaders in the trade.
Yeah.
And, of course, you can't take away the Macau action. Macau is the leading gaming spot in the world. And Las Vegas Sands, the other one we're going to talk about here, and Wynn are the leaders over there. And speaking of Macau and Wynn, let's take a look at Las Vegas Sands. Currently trading in here around, what, $69 for the day?
It is, yeah.
And take a look at the chart on Wynn. They reported earnings.
Yeah.
Some people didn't like it. There's been profit-taking in the stock. Don't forget, nice dividend being paid by Las Vegas Sands.
Yeah.
And here we have it.
Yeah. All right, there you have it. LVS is the ticker symbol on that. Rather, bring your charts up on LVS. That's Las Vegas Sands, currently trading at $68.95, about $69 here, Don. 623,000 shares exchanging hands here today. Did you know that, just to let you know that volume right now is a little bit light on the light side for this time during the trading session on Las Vegas Sands, but that's okay. It's still respectable. Average volume on Las Vegas Sands, million shares, okay? Again, just like Win in the process of recovery and a reversal, okay? Nice little chart on that one. Hey, Don, MGM, how about that one, Don? MGM.
Well, there's another one. You have MGM trading in here at what, $29.50.
It is
almost 2 million shares trading today.
Yeah.
Nice volume. Well, you call the chart on that one, Kurt. There you have it.
Yeah.
That's another one that's in the process of a recovery.
Yeah.
And MGM. And don't forget, you also have the MGM Hospitality Holding Company, and both of these stocks pay handsome dividends.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. MGM, just like the other two, just like Wynn and just like Las Vegas Sands, I'm seeing a nice recovery. Bring your charts up on this. MGM, Mary Golf Mary, is a ticker symbol for MGM Resorts. And same thing here, Don. This is what we're seeing. This is where you want to come in, potentially come in, take a look at these. You wait for those bounces. We're seeing that. We're seeing some nice reversals going on with these gaming stocks. And certainly, they should be on your list if they're not there already. Don?
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
The gambling stocks, they're here to stay, and I'm very high on Macau. And as I mentioned, Macau is the leading gambling site in the world. A lot of construction still going on over there, and Wynn and Las Vegas Sands lead the parade over there. Yeah. And then you want to talk about payment processors?
Let's do that. Payment processors still on our list, should be still on your list, folks. MasterCard leading the pack, right, Don? MA is the ticker symbol for MasterCard, currently trading at 202.76 here today, 487,000 shares exchanging hands. Up $2, not bad, but up $2 since the last time we spoke about it. Don, your thoughts?
Well, MasterCard is the leader in the trade. Worldwide, big company, and currently trading in here at around $203.
Yeah.
What do we have here today? About 500,000 shares trading hands.
Yeah.
And that's another chart that is looking pretty good.
Yeah, certainly MasterCard. Again, just about almost 500,000 shares exchanging hands. Again, a little bit light on the volume side, but still respectable, no doubt, for MasterCard here today. Day's not over, folks, by the way, but at this time, during this trading session, volume's a little bit light on that one too, okay? PayPal, PYPL, currently trading at $86.65, 955,000 shares exchanging hands, just like MasterCard. It dropped pretty good after the earnings report, but up $3 since we spoke about it last. Don, your thoughts?
Well, PayPal, a couple of small acquisitions they've made, another leader in this business, and a lot of people have long forgotten that this is an eBay spinoff. But PayPal is a nice one to hold on to, and aggressive management. And what do we have here today? About 1 million shares trading hands?
Yeah. Yeah.
And, well, take a look at the chart. How does it look? Chart's on the upswing.
Yeah, it certainly is. PYPL is a ticker symbol for that one, and it should be on your list. If it's not there already, bring your charts up on this and check it out here today. Don, let's move on to Visa. Visa and Corp. Ticker symbol on that one is V, Don. Currently trading at $140.36. 1 million shares exchanging hands here today, just like MasterCard and PayPal. You know, nice little reversals that we've seen on Visa. It's trading near its 52-week high. Okay, and you're gonna find that at $141 range, Don.
Well, this is another one where they trimmed it back a little, some profit taking. Yeah. But it's bounced back. It's bounced back strong, as we can see by the chart.
Sure.
And in this basket of stocks, this is the place to be. MasterCard, Visa, PayPal, and then, hey, you want to talk about Square, SQ?
Let's do that. SQ is the ticker symbol for Square, currently trading at $70.75. 2.1 million shares exchanging hands on that one, Don. Nice volume, still steady here today. Bring your charts up on this, okay? So it's finding this hard resistance, folks. It's finding this hard resistance at its 52-week high, and that's going to be at $73 and about the 20-cent range, Don, on SQ.
Well, this is another one. Don't forget the founder of Twitter is running this company. What's his name? Jack Dorsey.
Yeah.
But Square is, what can I say? Here, who knew? Here it is, a $70 stock. You know, when you go into those convenience stores,
right?
There's those little boxes sitting there, and that's where. And of course, as we talked about a month back, Square is also in the lending business now, lending some of these small businesses their money.
Yeah.
And the way that works is they just offer advances on their on their MasterCard.
Is that right? And wow, what a business, Don. What a business, Don.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. And Square made that little square, just as they're in their namesake, they made that popular, where it's a little square device that you slide the card through, makes the transactions portable. So if you're out and about, if you're doing yoga in the park, Don, right, and you got a yoga class and you're out there doing your stretches and your dogwood whatever's, okay, and somebody needs to make payment, you just whip out your smartphone, you whip out your Square, you plug it in the top, and you slide it through, and now everybody's happy, Don. All right? Square.
Can't stop the entrepreneurs.
That's correct. All right, Square, keep it on your radar, SQ. Coming up next, we got Brad Williams. We're going to be talking about workers. This is great. Biggest pay and benefit increase in 10 years. We're going to find out where it's coming from, and is it going to continue? Stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss that.
Hi, I'm Steve Forbes. You're watching Traders Nation.
Welcome back. You are tuned in to Traders Nation. My pleasure to have back with us once again Brad Williams. He's president of Brad Williams Financial Services. Brad, welcome back to Traders Nation. How are you today?
Well, it's great to be back. I'm doing great.
Good. Well, from what I gather, Brad, workers are seeing the biggest pay and benefit increase in 10 years, Brad. What ushered this prosperity in?
Well, I think we're in as far as from Washington's standpoint, we're in a much more friendly business environment.
Sure.
We've actually got a businessman running the country now, and in spite of what people might think of him, he does things like business should. From an economic sense.
Sure.
And so as we watched over the last 8 years, businesses didn't know what was coming next. You had Obamacare, you had tax increases, you know, regulatory increases, which really are hidden taxes. And all those seem to be whittling down and creating an environment where businesses are going to start spending that cash they've been hoarding in growing their business. And of course, the wages have to rise, because if the job market's rising like it is, they're going to have to hold on to the good people.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting that you say that, because you're absolutely right. Small businesses and even large businesses, Brad, they had no idea if they were going to be blindsided with, like you said, a regulation, which is a taxation, laws. It wasn't really a business-friendly environment, and that's probably why we saw so much cash going offshore and being sheltered, because they didn't want the long arm of a democratic government coming in and hitting them with that. So they had no idea. They couldn't plan, could they, Brad?
No, they couldn't. And, I've often said that money or capital goes where it's most appreciated. Well, when it's appreciated more somewhere else, it goes there, and it flows. It's just like interest rates. The higher the rate, the more money you'll get.
Sure.
And so that's the way, Washington looked at the businesses for too long as a cash cow to fund whatever whim they had. And now we got a guy who understands that the greater good of America is if everybody's got a job and they're keeping pace with inflation and having a higher standard of living.
Right. So nearly $1 trillion has been repatriated back into the United States. We're seeing prosperity coming in growth with small businesses. We're seeing small businesses pop up. We're seeing businesses looking to expand their business and hiring people on. So I think it's working. Whatever D.C. is doing now, or whatever this administration's doing now, it's working without a doubt, coming back in. And this is what I like next is private workers are fared better than the public sector workers. So that's huge, isn't it? And we have private workers now are doing better than the government workers, because the last administration almost seemed like it was a government-run economy versus a consumer economy. But let's talk about this. Total compensation in the private industry rose 2.9%, while government workers saw a 2.3% increase. So we're seeing it on the private side much better. I'm liking that, Brad. Your thoughts?
I agree with you. You got to have a certain amount of government workers, because there are certain things government should do. Unfortunately, they get too much involved in things they shouldn't do, and that siphons money off. The issue that we got going forward as we see not taxes, but interest rates slowly rise to get back where they really should be. The cost of government's going to increase, and that's going to crowd out some private bars. So that's going to be the real thing to watch, is to make sure that interest rates only slowly go up to allow it to compensate.
Right. And I think they're going to want to do that to hedge off inflation too, because if inflation's coming through the pipe, But we'll see if that works for them. And let's face it, the feds need these tools. They've gotten themselves down to zero, which emptied their toolbox out, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, they really did. I mean, who wants to get into a negative rate? I don't. I don't want to see it. Wages alone gained 2.8% over the last 12 months, which also reflected a 10-year high. Is this going to help fuel the fires of a consumer economy in our future? I sure hope so. What are your thoughts?
Well, as people have more disposable income, they dispose of it. Yeah. And so, but I think maybe what we might see, which would be good, is that as we've been through the things we've been through the last 10 years, people are paying off debt. Yeah. We want to see that. We want to see savings more. And the savings isn't going to increase. And what I mean by that is not necessarily investment in the stock market, but, in banks and CDs and things like that, that banks need that kind of capital to be able to lend. And a strong savings base is required for an economy like ours. And they've been penalizing the savers and rewarding the risk takers. And we're going to see that change.
Right. So let's talk about that briefly, because certainly savings is not American strong point. We have a real terrible time with savings. Some folks do investing okay for the long term, but savings in the banks, it doesn't pay enough, Brad. Where's the incentive going to come for folks to save a little bit more from the banks in the banking industry?
Well, it'll come as interest rates rise and they start seeing that change. Now, I'm already starting to see things like, a little better money market accounts and CDs that have adjustable rates. If they have a rate increase, you get to renegotiate once. So banks are becoming more friendly. It's, the beauty of a capitalist free, or we're not free, but we're relatively free market, is that businesses are allowed to respond as the market requires. And that's why the government should stay out, because they artificially, create winners and losers when it just needs to happen.
Sure. Do you see this administration kind of getting out of the way of business? Certainly we're seeing regulations being slashed all over the place, regulations that shouldn't have probably been in place and certainly overlapping in many, many areas. Do you see this administration getting out of the way of our economy and also of business?
I really do, and as I look at regulations, which is something I keep track of, there are so many things happening from a regulatory state. I mean, our Congress has basically allowed the regulatory state to dictate the rules.
Sure.
And so they've just grabbed the ball and run with it. Well, Trump's saying, let's give it back to the public. And so they're cutting the regulations, they're cutting some of these bureaus and administrations. And that, we need a much smaller government. We don't need the government we have. We need one that operates efficiently in what it needs to be doing and not what it wants to be doing in.
Yeah. Hey, listen, the Commerce Department said the price index for personal consumption expenditures rose 2.2% year over year in June. Back to the question of inflation, it's on the rise. Where are we seeing most of the inflation coming into our economy? Is it in gas, things like that? Goods?
Well, actually, gas is still kind of flat in my area.
Yeah.
But we don't have a lot of the regulations and the weird formulas and all that in Alabama that some of the other states do.
Sure.
But consumer food prices are increasing.
Yeah.
And of course, some of the goods that are under tariffs, are going to increase, and I think that's going to be the big question, is how this tariff game plays out. And I think some people miss what the president's attitude is about that. He doesn't want tariffs,
right.
But what he needs to do is go to the table from a strong position, and they have to know that he means business.
Yeah.
And the problem is so many times we've done trade negotiations, I think our trading partners realize that the guy sitting across the table from them, his most important thing is coming home with any deal, much less a good deal.
Right.
And so they play that.
Yeah. So let's briefly, because we're almost out of time, but in the sense of tariffs, don't people get it? This is his negotiating posture when it comes to tariffs and trying to really get the best deal for America. We're trying to get that back in instead of spreading that wealth out to the world. We're trying to bring it back to the U.S., right?
Yes, and a guy like him, you don't make money in the market he was in New York.
Yeah.
Without being a hard negotiator.
Sure.
And he understands that.
Yeah.
And so, he comes up, he'll ask for 20 when he really needs 10.
That's right. Brad,
and then you just start from there.
That's right. Where can we find you at, Brad? You got a website?
Yes, askbradwilliams.com.
AskBradWilliams.com. Head on over there today, folks. Hey, Brad, thanks for your time here today. We certainly appreciate it.
Hey, thank you for having me again.
You
Always
bet.
Enjoyable.
My pleasure. Brad Williams, AskBradWilliams.com. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Traders Nation. Hey, Don, that last segment was awesome with Brad Williams. That is what winning sounds like. Okay, that's what winning sounds like. Okay, getting
right.
Get jobs. Don, here on Traders Nation, you know this. For years, we pounded the table. Economy, jobs, right? We pounded the table on that, Don. In the last administration, we're going to wave the magic wand and create jobs. Like, you had no idea how to create jobs. This administration does. Hey, Don, let's go on to data. Where do you want to go? Data centers? You want to go on to data storage? Where do you want to go?
Well, let's talk about the cell towers.
Yeah. Hit it.
Okay. I just want to point out to the viewers and listeners out there that on these cell towers, there's only a handful of them. We've got CCI, Crown Castle, we've got AMT, and we've got SBAC.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we have the UNIT, symbols we've all talking about. But keep in mind, on a go-forward basis now, interestingly enough, AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, and Sprint are all growing their customer base, which simply means there's going to be more phone calls on cell phones.
Nice.
5G is going to be rolling out. They're already talking very heavily about that. And all these cell tower business companies will be in the sweet spot to handle all of these calls.
They got to grow their...
going to be... That's right.
Yeah, they got to grow their networks. Don, do you own anything we talked about here today?
No.
No, I don't either. Any stock we mention is not a buy-sell recommendation either. Good stuff, Don. Hey, thanks for tuning in, Traders Nation, and we'll see you on the next edition. Everyone have a great day.
That's right.